Hey guys, g'day guys, it's James Bartolo here, fat loss specialist. First up, the reason I'm not wearing a top is not to show how pale I am, it's to show that I actually know what I'm talking about. And as promised from my last live video, I said I was going to talk and teach about the bucket principle. So now you may be wondering what the bucket principle is and what a bucket possibly has to do with your fat loss efforts, right? Okay, so I was actually updating my fat loss guides today. I've rebranded them. I'm calling it the Fat Loss Catapult now. And I just added in the bucket principle. So I'm basically just going to read the extract of the bucket principle right now to you and fill you in on what the bucket principle is and why it's so powerful and just helps you understand so much better how to burn fat a lot easier. Okay? So, first up, imagine your body as a bucket. So you got a bucket here. You fill the bucket up. Here, I've got a big water bottle. Let's pretend this is a bucket. By the way, I drink this every day. It's 4 liters. I recommend at least 2 liters a day. So we're filling the bucket up. We're filling it up. And this is the same as filling your body up with carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is energy. Yeah? So when you eat carbohydrates, it goes into your body and it gets converted into glucose. Glucose is just a sugar. And if the carbohydrates that you eat goes into your body and it's not needed as fuel immediately, like you're not doing a marathon or you're not exercising or you're not having a really hard job or anything that actually requires you to be using those carbs, it does one of two things. They either it'll sit in your bloodstream for a while, and it can either go into glycogen stores. So glycogen is a stored form of glucose. Glucose being carbohydrates. So a carbohydrate is rice, cereal, bread, toast, pasta, pizza, all that kind of stuff is carbohydrates. So you eat it, goes into your body, gets converted into glucose, which is the sugar, and then can either get stored as glycogen in your liver and your muscles, or it will get converted into fat, okay? So if your glycogen stores are topped up, depending on what body size you are, like a guy like me, maybe about 400 grams I could store of carbohydrates, a smaller person, maybe 200, and depending on how big you are, if you're a really big person, 600 to 800 grams of glycogen, the stored form of carbs, you can store in your muscle tissues and your liver. Okay, but what happens with most people who are sedentary, they have a normal everyday job and it doesn't require them to do a lot of exercise, and they don't exercise outside of that. They'll eat carbs. The glycogen stores are full. They're topped up. So what happens then is there's nowhere else for the glucose to go. There's nowhere else. So it's not going to go into the glycogen. It's not going to go into your muscles, your liver, and it has to get spilt over and it'll go into your fat. That's pretty much the number one reason why people get fat, okay? Because their glycogen stores are full, they're still eating carbs every single day, still having cereal for breakfast, still having toast, still having all that stuff, and it just gets spilt over. So what I like to teach is depleting your carbs. I'm not going to go into too much about that right now, but that's just the bucket principle right there, okay? So you eat carbohydrates, goes into your body, goes into your bloodstream. If your glycogen stores are topped up, it's going to spill over into fat, unless you're using it immediately for energy, for running a marathon, boxing, lifting weights, something like that. But if your glycogen stores aren't topped up, if they're empty, if you've depleted them through exercise or carbohydrate depletion, then you're going to top up your carbs. You're going to top up your glycogen stores. But I think that's enough for today right now. There's a lot of information there, and it probably is a little bit confusing, yeah? So just take that in. If there's any other questions, just hit me up, like this post, comment on it, whatever. And then next time I'm going to talk about how you can actually use that strategy there, the bucket principle, to manipulate your fat loss and get the best results from knowing this kind of stuff that you can. Because it's really, really simple once you understand. Really simple. I'm going to share that with you guys next time. Okay? Thank you for watching. James Bartolo out.